great every time it comes on. We are live for part 3 of our weekend UpSTREAM. Doing a little Fragment this morning. This is a grumpy old guy, and we're doing some gaming. As promised in yesterday's Skyrim stream, I am going to run Repkosai, my Blademaster. Fragment in the morning. Good morning, Roy. How you doing today? It is my day off, so I gave myself the luxury of waiting until about 8 o'clock to get rolling today. Got a handful of servers to go through. Let's start with a classic, Black Sky. I think we're going to go ahead and try and do a field and dungeon clear in every server. I am doing well. Got a full day off. Got some tea by me. Gonna play me some Fragment. Yeah, let's hit the storage. There isn't too much I'm worried about coming out of the Black Sky server. So I'm going to go ahead and switch up swords. I have a few to choose from. I think I'm going to get the big boy right out of the way here. Let's grab the Chaos Sword. And let's run a field with that. Put Gan's Spiral, Vex Spiral, and what the hell, Anid Spiral. Still have our attack spell if need be. We're going after pure damage here. Look at that beauty. Level 99 rare. Yep, okay. Resonant Remnant, Fate Castle. Level 17 Firefield. That's as good a start as any. First couple fields probably going to fly by. Going to throw my usual buffs on. More a matter of convenience than anything. Not having to stop every time the hit points get dinged up enough to require it. Plus, it's not like there are no hazards on this field. I should just be able to easily clear them. Let's see what kind of loot we're getting here. Apparently getting a good amount of it. Hey, Frost Armor. Not such a bad thing. Of course, you hear the Twilight Onions in the background. What's our magic damage looking like coming out of this? Oh, yeah. Cool. Of course, the nice thing about this is we could do a little crit fishing with the Chaos Sword if we so choose. Wow, does that treasure chest look squished from this vantage point. Oh, that's why. It's halfway in the ground. That will happen with fire fields. Not so sure about the other fields, but I do remember fire fields in particular that happening a couple times. So we've got Meniers on this field. Good to note for those looking to level in the 10 to 20 range. Fair amount of wandering monsters too. Okay, it looks about 3 portals left. Buff's wearing off, but it's not like we need them super bad, so I'll just finish the field without. Just when we thought it was safe to go back in the water. Final portal had no monsters in it, and then we get 3 wandering monsters, but 1 res. And that was our first Menhir res of the day, too. Just saw him coming up over the horizon there. Fantastic visual. I don't play nearly enough fire fields because some of the color patterns on these castles are absolutely exquisite. Also, we got a bearcat egg. Best way to handle 2 Menhirs simultaneously. Hey! That was some form of the Goblin Wizard line and a 5-digit crit for us. That was 17,000 damage on a single enemy. I think we got it. But overkill is the only kill in situations like this. Even our normal hits getting those Gobwiz for about 8 thou. Always dangerous to take out the stuff other than Menhir. Okay, we're fully slowed again, time to rebuff. Typically I'll do it at the start of every floor, just lazy day today. Caught me on casual Sunday. Actually, almost slept in past sunrise. Really do love the reds and everything, though. It's a welcome change of pace. Love the forest fields and things I normally run. But those always generate a purple and green scheme in a cave dungeon. And most of the stuff I've been running has actually had sort of a blue motif in the castle walls lately. And you know you've played a game way too much when you're talking this much about the color of wall decor. A little bit of risky business. Dungeon is compensating us well for our time, I will say. Get a little bit of the dramatic slow motion there. Actually got to watch out for the Ochimusha. Again, you wouldn't expect a major hazard on a level 17 field for a level 99 character, but Ochimusha, I do believe, have the Death Strike ability. So every time one of their attacks goes off, there is the chance it hits me for about 1700 damage out of nowhere. Actually makes me a little sad to see them without a Blademaster handy, because now both of my Blademasters have access to Melee, which is the charm ability, and Emus and I one time through just random messing with monsters and skills found out that if you get a charmed monster to attack itself, which it very much will do if no other enemies are present, and they have a status effect like Death Touch, it will proc. I think it was the next step up from the Ochimusha. I think it was a Nobunaga Soul, one of those samurai monsters that we hit with that. Got a good old no damage proc there. Always a welcome sight. Also rather happy there were no Manir in that pile. These are what I call the Castlevania rooms, because we got large gears turning for seemingly no reason. Floor 3, we'll just ride on speed here. Up to some killer snakers. All right. Just paying that no mind. And a golden egg. Amazed I don't have 99 of them, but in all honesty, I usually just pass them up. And just some treasure out here. So that's 3 floors down. Getting a good deal of water gear. Got 5 floors of fauna ahead of us. So let's go ahead and rebuff here at the start of 4, since we know we've got a bit more of a journey to take. I believe these are just standard words, no parameters altered or anything. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think Fate Castle determines the dungeon length. Yeah, red gem I think gets priority. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, this should be a 6th-floor dungeon. However, my memory is infamously bad. So I could very well be confusing it, or just going off something completely random that I thought was a thing. But if this is 6 floors, I will be pleasantly surprised and probably forget this little tidbit and just assume it was a random thing that popped into my head for the purposes of filling time this stream. Making pretty decent time while we're at it, too. Little counter on the stream just ticked past 16 minutes. I want to say we probably spent a minute just getting into the game. So yeah, about 3 minutes level. That's not terrible. Figure a good bit of that was just the field with all those wandering monsters. Okay, floor 5. We're shaping up with a lot of medium rooms, and there's a portal in each. These are usually fairly good indicators that we're on the final floor. But nothing's set in stone until we see a statue room and just dead ends, and then I guess the statue is. Nice crit on the killer snaker, dead before it even materialized. Old Macho Man promo line, so fast it's like it never even happened. There are our dead ends, and there is our statue room, so this very well is the final floor. Very well is, that's terrible grammar. Thank goodness the missus is still asleep. I'd be hearing about that one for days. Crit to end this floor, and Chaos Sword did its job. Now let's see here. Level 17 field. All in all, we should be getting like level 20s in the gear here. Fire Helm. So yeah, it is not 6 floors. Who'd have guessed I'd have got it wrong. We do have a level 23 helm out of this, though, so that much I got right. And the rest of the stuff just right on with where you'd expect. Good haul out of this. And for those who are wondering, pretty standard fire helmet. Nothing exciting out of that set. I don't even think out of this stuff there's anything too crazy. It's your more common gear. Ruram, always nice to have. So yeah, that's one in the books. See if we could escape the field safe and move on to the next. No, we cannot. Our little welcoming party from last time seems to have been waiting for us. That's okay. We know how to handle that. Oh, and they brought us a gift. Cool. Cool. And with that, we are going to say adieu to the Black Sky server. Thanks to Crimson hosting the server. Back into the lobby here at the 20-minute mark for area number 2. Up next, we have Penguini, one of Nekanosuke's servers. Which either had a lot of keywords loaded to it or isn't port forwarded right. Mind you, probably not Neko's fault. The server will sort of bop in and out from time to time and the ports will get screwed up. I used to host a server and it happened to me all the time. I'd have it up, it would be running fine, and then a couple hours later people would tell me they couldn't get in. Yeah, no server found on Penguini. Let's see if Crab's working. Weird. He must have them. Oh, that's right. Crab is Overmaster. Neko has Penguini and Shrimp is his translation and reworking of the Crab server. So I got a little confused there. I am going to put the Chaos Sword back and go back to Rugrats Knights, as it is possible to get a higher level field out of here. And I actually prefer Rugrats Knights for high level play. Now, I don't believe I used any items yet in that last field. So everything I've got spare is actually perfectly sellable. Which is good, because the gold has taken a little hit of late. Not a major one, as you could see. I'm still up over 4.5 million. But I typically don't take treasures when playing in a party, both for speed's sake and assuming the other person could probably use it more than me, because I've played Fragment forever and a day now. I lied, I did use some items. Fairy's Orb, Sprydock, and 10 Fortune Lyres. Still come out well ahead there. Set my shortcuts before this gets rather embarrassing. And probably the most devastating skill I have, Moomin Lay. Blademaster so boring, it puts the enemy to sleep. $89 light field. We'll give it a go. 89 is a number that scares me a little. There is the chance we get Pandora's boxes and Madame Niagara's. Right there's a Pandora's box. And several gob machines. Problem with that particular setup is you have to approach them completely different. Ooh. And we have us a dragon, too. So we're looking for a safe spot for this battle. This looks to be about as good as any. Yeah, as you could see, our not using an item streak has come to an end real quick. Now that the gob machines are out of the way, we could focus on the dragon. Tried 3 times with Moomin Lay and it failed, so we're just going to go in and hit the thing. Tried to get some sleep on it for the sake of getting a good head start, but sometimes plans don't work out. nearing half health on the dragon. Also down about a third of our own. There's our protect break. Nice critical to finish it off. Exciting open, and we still haven't even addressed the Pandora's box in the field. Also, we apparently came dangerously close to tripping a portal in our escape from that run. The more you know. Get our character squared back up so we can move a bit more safely. So Pandora's box is completely physically tolerant. And they can confuse you, which makes you physically attack the closest thing to you. Fortunately, I know confusion's only going to last for about 7 or 8 attacks. And the boxes themselves don't have a ton of strength, so we've actually got a very good chance of pulling out even if there's 2. The worry is wandering monsters at this point, and also that skill drain ability. A lack of magic is going to hurt us quite a bit here. And even though it only takes a second, that second to pop an Artisan Soul is plenty of time to get confused yet again. A rare double miss out of the tandem here. And that lets us get a bit more damage in. There's a protect break, so if we wanted to risk it, we could drain. Got both the boxes under half at the moment. And one is down. That makes this fight infinitely simpler. Yet another failed confusion. We're not mad about that. Don't think we'll be getting the full field clear here. I think we were already through floor 1 of the dungeon in Black Sky by the time we got to this point. Giving ourselves plenty of room. There we go. We'll take 1 attack from the dragon, but it is well and truly asleep now. And we could pile literal thousands of damage on this before it wakes back up. Yeah, we got in a full kill of that dragon while it was asleep. There go our buffs. Fortunately, we are right by the dungeon. Now, heading into the dungeon sort of has its own set of risks and rewards. We don't have to worry about wandering monsters anymore. But if we do get caught in a Pandora's box trap, it's more than likely going to be in a very small room. First portal. Flame Maidens. Oh. So I was worried about Madame Niagara's. With at least the safe knowledge that if it was a Madame Niagara, we had a fire attack to deal with them. No such luck here. And these can and will appear in 4s. That may have been the worst pull for us. Well, that'll show that Pandora's box. We went after the Gob Machine first, anyway. Right past the pendulum. Of course, we're coming up on October. I'm a Vincent Price fan. I do believe The Pit and the Pendulum is going to be on this year's movie list. And down it goes. Every now and then you'll sort of get a parting confusion from them. And then you're just sort of stuck, kind of standing in place for the buff to wear off. Ugh. I'm just going to keep doing that, aren't I? So the double whammy of the Pandora's Box and Flame Maiden is getting confused and put to sleep. Fortunately, confusion wears off a good deal quicker. Unfortunately, that means it could reproc as you're coming out of sleep. Handled the maidens quickly, which is what you want to do. Also want to hope for a fairly short dungeon run here, but 11 rooms on the first floor is telling me we've got a few floors to get through. So my next hope is that Pandora's boxes fall off the monster table here at floor 3. Picking up some nice loot at least. Looks like an even split, 2 Gob machines and 2 Pandora's boxes. That took a while for a confusion to hit. And you love when the 2 are close enough together that you get a little splash damage off the ROM spell. Wow. That one just literally right up on us. One down, and we're sitting at about half health. Same with the other Pandora's box. Our speed boost wore off, but that's of little consequence at the moment because we're not actually trying to catch up to this for a melee strike. Yep, the true confusion right here. That would have been so much better had a chest spawned after the mimic kill, because then we'd be confused just staring at it wondering if it was still a mimic. Saw a Flame Maiden real quick. Unfortunately, the enemy shifted. Fortunately for us, a gob machine was nearby, so when we got confused, it wasn't all for naught. Still managed to kill an enemy in said confusion. And now that we've got the maiden down, it's just us versus another Pandora's box, and my goodness, haven't we seen enough of those already? There's some confusion, so I could take a bit of a drink break. Dead got a little after the fact confusion. This will wear off soon enough. Hey, a destroyer. I believe that's a heavy blade weapon. Yep, level 51. Not bad, not bad. Left that chest all the way back there, but honestly, survival is a prize in itself, and I'm not paying very close attention. Got some immature eggs. Definitely have my fill of those. Thought I had the kill there. Did not have the kill there. Got rid of the maiden before it was a problem, though. So, bonus. Two more portals here in the first. Like, when you see two Flame Maidens, your only hope is that confusion goes through and sleep doesn't. But we sort of hit the lottery there. Got through the whole shebang nice and safe. The gob machine and both Flame Maidens went down, and we finally got confused, but only after landing a few shots on the Pandora's box. Didn't quite have my L2 pressed enough there. And once again, an after-the-fact confusion. These Pandora's boxes getting real good. See? Perfect. We're standing there confused, and yellow box monster turns into blue box present. Oof. I was totally not looking. Just mash and circle, and a risky treasure done got me. Just kind of tracking it. Very mobile enemy, the Pandora's box, so a lot of times your confusion is just spent spinning the old camera. Got it down to about 1,000 though. With any luck, when we get out of this, it should be the final run. Decided to hide behind the actual treasure. Moment of tactical brilliance there. Not gonna be fooled twice. And there's an owl crest. Nice light head armor. And with that, the first floor is thankfully complete. That probably took longer than the entire last dungeon, which you would expect for the more difficult level, but oh. Definitely going to get a fresh clock on our buffs there. And let's see what trouble we can get into in floor 2. Pass a whole bunch of folks who are just not having the best day. And the trouble starts with 2 Flame Maidens. Fortunately, they seem to be more preoccupied with burning us to a crisp. And we've got the damage battle pretty well in hand. Another Thunderbolt for our troubles. Let's see what comes out of this portal here. More Maidens. Early sleep's going to give them a leg up. Most importantly, going to give them a chance to scatter. Monster tactics in this game tend to go towards simple but effective. Sometimes just having casters go to the corners is kind of the best plan. But we did take the Maidens down pretty well after that initial sleep. Next portal's just going to offer us some treasure, and you know what? We've worked pretty hard here. Picked up an Avenger, another heavy blade weapon. So let's treat ourselves with hitting an old storeroom. Got a couple antidotes there. A healing elixir, always nice to get those. And a sports drink. Stocking up here before we get into floor 2 proper. And before we hit this room, I want to reapply Rig Game and Rig Same. I think their timer is just about up anyway, and I would rather not have an end in the start of a battle. Two gob machines. Could have been a lot worse. Take the upper fork here and clear this part of the dungeon out. More risky business. And some fire hands. Not to be confused with the level 20s flame set. That one actually comes in the upper 60s. It's about level 69 hand armor, if I remember correctly. Get a fair bit of lag from everything moving on here. That's not so much the game, that's me running this stream and everything off the computer while playing. As you might be noticing, when I hit larger rooms, you could actually mitigate a fair bit of the lag when you see it creeping in just by changing the camera. So you've got less that the game is trying to draw. Some rooms it's easier than others. Got one maiden down. Crit really helped us on the way with the second, and now it's just one-on-one with Flame Maiden. Criminally easy, and we end up taking a nap after. I guess we're just getting a taste of our own medicine there. Regular treasure. Giving us the moon. What a lovely gift to receive. In addition to that, we had a pretty clean second floor. It's about a 50-50 split for me on that speed boost, by the way. If I'm using a consumable like a speed charm, I'm probably cheap enough to just walk the rest of the way and hit the speed boost at the start of the next floor. However, because I have Apdo as a skill, I don't have to use the consumables, and I have it whenever I have SP. So burning it twice literally costs me nothing. Floor 3, this is where we start to see a bit of a shift in the monster table. Hopefully for the better, because we've had an awful lot of status effect to deal with here early. Just a treasure chest to start out with. Not sad about that. Also get a clear picture of our stairs down to level 4, so we know where we had last. Well, so much for good luck there. First portal is Pandora's boxes and a trio of Flame Maidens. Two of the maidens down. Takes a good deal of the lethality of this encounter with it. And now that it's down to one-on-one with the Pandora's box, it's pretty much just a matter of how often we'll get confused. Very glad confusion doesn't interact with objects. Because as cool as it would be to see a confused player walking around smashing crates and whatnot, there would also be the chance to try opening that risky treasure without a fortune wire in the middle of combat. Thankfully, it just sticks strictly to melee attacks. Did manage to get one Megan Realm off in the brief amount of time we were not confused there. Hidden danger of a Pandora's box is as a time sink. They're even in killing it. We've got to wait a couple extra minutes. It's probably time to Okay, I think we're back now. Bit of technical difficulty coming through there. And it looks like that treasure just up and disappeared on me. Early sleep while I was adjusting. Once again, not the optimal path I took there. Fantastic, a blue worm. Finally, a large enemy. Something that's just going to go at us with pure damage. Unfortunately, 3 attempts at sleeping it didn't quite work, so we'll just have to rely on sheer damage. And since it is water element enemy, we can go ahead and just try our best. With our flame strikes, that is Givac slash, I believe. Did put quite a toll on our SP total. But hey, I'm not going to argue with that win or a 500-point critical to finish. Another treasure there. Apparently the worm was the main attraction here. Three more flame maidens. Going to be coming right out of the sleep, popping an elixir, and trying desperately to get at that damaged maiden before we are slept again. Did our job. Even with 2, I don't want my hit point total to get too crazy low. 1-on-1, I think we're safe through a sleep. Looks like it kind of got stuck on the wall there for a sec. And of course, since we had already killed the maiden, that last spell did a total 0 damage. Actually, just hugging close to the Flame Maidens. One, because they are the priority enemy, and two, because if we get confused, we'll still just be physical attacking, like that. Maidens are down, and now it's us versus two Pandora's boxes, but we have to be much more cognizant of our hit points and SP, because Rig's aim and Rig game have worn off. In my haste to just get this floor over with, I sort of lost track. Fortunately, these two Pandora's boxes were nice enough to get right next to each other and allow me plenty of Megan ROM to get them right around half health each. Won't get that lucky often, but you have to capitalize when you do. Also lucky that confusion failed. One more should do it. And it will. Cool, cool, cool. Did the thing rather well. Pulled a lumberjack out of the box. That is a large fellow for a tiny box. Also, it's a heavy axe weapon. And that's 3 floors in the book. Nearing the hour mark. Curious to see what we get out of this 4th floor. Cautiously optimistic. Looks like a statue chest. Maybe we've reached the end. 3 Pandora's boxes. Had to run into the middle there just to make sure my eyes weren't deceiving me. This could be the longest battle of our day. Got that grouping together, so now they're all at least damaged. Got one hit in. We are getting close there. We are also getting close to half health. See, and right at the point you thought you had the kill assured, the boxes switch up, and now the damaged one is only taking splash. Do believe we did it in, though, and now it's a 2-on-1, and things are back in our favor. Got our second box rather heavily worn down. Didn't try to reinvent the wheel here, just sort of did damage to the one closest to us. And that's really served us well. As you could see, we've actually gained a bit of hit points back just taking things on in the manner we have. And now we're down to 1-on-1. And the final. It took quite a bit to get rolling in that combat, but I'm glad we got through it. So much so that we, in fact, did need to rebuff. Ooh. Have some Blademasters, which can charm. Fortunately, we got confused first. Also, Blademasters can be put to sleep rather easily. Take down our four-headed foe. Now it's time to find out what's in the box. All right. Down under half. So we're looking at about 3 castings coming out of this to kill. And 2 very time-consuming battles to just start off this 4th floor. Nothing says high-level Fragment like having to rebuff after every encounter. Blue Worm. I know they can be slept, I've just not had the best success at it today. I'll give it one more try. And no dice. So instead, let's just throw pure damage at it, because what's the point of having a sword that could gain magical fire if you never use it? The elemental hits are what we're after there, as we're coming in just under 1,000 when those go off. We did chain a good few of them together there. All in all, a nice, easy battle for us. And that's the left wing of this dungeon cleared out. Now we have an upper right and lower right before we finally go lower left and pick up our statue chest. That is, of course, on the assumption that we survive this. Yet another owl crest. Into a middle-sized room with a portal smack dab in the center, greeting us with 2 more Pandora's boxes. They seem to keep tiptoeing back and forth, so I have no true singular target. Joke's on them. I'm not too concerned at this point. I'm just spam casting. Two skill drains in a row. And even with Regime, the Artisan Soul was rather necessary. That's one Pandora's box down, and we should have the other under 2,000 before we get confused again. Lucky guess on my part, but that sure looked good. I was very worried we were about to get late battle confusion there. Once again, time to rebuff. That's not even me being paranoid. They ran out after the battle again. Second time this floor that's happened. Both times it was Pandora's Box battles. Another treasure chest here. And suddenly we've got the top half of this final floor done. Still a very risky proposition every time a portal opens, but we do see a light at the end of this tunnel. And we hear an immature egg. One more thunderbolt to the collection. There's another blue worm. Nope. 0 for 2. Not even going to try a third time because if it doesn't work, it's just not going to work. And it just doesn't seem like my day. I do know that it can work. Just not the most reliable against these. Also didn't get our insane streak of elemental hits there, but still more than enough to get the blue worm down to a very reasonable number, especially when our base attack is hitting for 259. Just one more portal to go. And you somehow knew it had to be this way. It just had to be 4 Pandora's boxes. We will probably be popping a healing elixir just about every time we come out of confusion. This time, not so necessary. Actually, this battle is going far better than I envisioned. Might be jinxing it. Just trying to keep track of all 4 is an interesting task in itself. Definitely going to have to Artisan Soul there. And as you could see, we didn't get a spell off because we had to get the mana to cast it first. Now we're definitely going to be more cognizant because those pesky puffs went away again. There's a nice tight grouping and a chance for us to get a little bit of ground back. Our 4 boxes have now turned into 3 and they've all taken quite a bit of damage. Caught them all there for 1 hit before that third one split out, which is fine because we'll get a twin killing before the next confusion. Tesfa Yube, hello, how you doing? Playing a bit of Fragment here on a cozy Sunday morning. Just cleared a level 89, I think it was. Yeah, 89 light field procedurally generated on the Crab server. Not really the intended use of the server, but my thanks to Overmaster for hosting. And my thanks for the Usurper Helm. Got a Hail Cross and a Healing Elixir. Usurper Helms are fantastic items. Level 99. Has the null damage ability. Also has Olrep and Rig Same. It's actually the helmet this character uses. Well, that's 2 for 2. This one definitely did a number on us item-wise. And we'll restock here in the Crab server before regrouping and going to the next. Going to try to hit one field on every server online that will let us. Quick pop out there. I know I left a Spring of Mist, but it is not worth dealing with Wandering Pandora's boxes when you're soloing. Fortunately, the things we picked up will sell rather well. And we need them to, because we went through some stuff. Thundercall, of course, the big winner for us. 14, and I believe we got 2 or 3 within that dungeon, so we were probably about 17 on those. Came out net positive on our antidotes and restoratives, at least. All right. Shrimp server. Interesting to see if this will let us in. And it will. So either Neko has been on in the time since we started and fixed the ports, or they are being hosted on 2 different sort of setups. Crimson King Crab Tempera. It is a level 58 fire field, and we've had luck with fire fields so far. So I say let's roll with it. Nighttime fire field. All kind of portals here. And a symbol. Apkorma. That might have helped us a little last field. We'll see if we need it here. Just shut down that Sled Dog King right away. And the Sled Dog King seem to have brought us gifts in the form of an Eagle's Hood and a Mage's Soul. Pick up some Aptorma. Game really wants me to cast. Okay, we'll do that. Got a Spark Maiden. Just a never-ending supply of sled dog kings here. And they are fire tolerant, so I can't even use my multi-target attack on this sword, as it is fire element as well. So nothing to do but hack our way out of the weeds. Had some interesting battles so far today. Just sleep one to sort of streamline the traffic around us. Nice simple battle. Portal on top of the hill here is going to give us a couple Spark Maidens. Nope. Did not sleep that maiden. And it failed on us too, so. There we go. We caught it just as it put us under. And a rock dragon. Ooh. Mognapalons. Interesting enemies in their own right. Hit for a ton and also heal rather well. So as you could see, I was letting them get low and then tried to finish them off just as they started casting. Pick up a Twilight Onion just for the sake of it. Rather happy to see the Napalons. Kind of a cool monster design. You generally don't see them much after level 70. This is the pain right here. We got slept and Abdu wore off. But we gave the Spark Maiden a taste of its own medicine, putting it to sleep. When we head up, the job is definitely finished. Nice critical shortening that Sled Dog King by a considerable margin. Looks like about 5 portals left. No sleep that time, just got stuck in a bit of a cast lock. Now it's one-on-one versus the Spark Maiden. It went the damage route, which never is the best plan for it. Got a bit of the old okey doke there. Spark Maiden swung around after our initial miss. And now we're stuck asleep right in front of an Apollon. Got a hit in before yet another sleep, and you can see the Maiden's a safe distance away while we're stuck in melee with the Apollon. Brilliant tactics. Third sleep of the combat, but we did get a healing elixir in there. Otherwise, we'd be under half health, even with Rig Same going. Got rid of the Apollon, and now we get to have a little bit of fun of our own. Got one Maiden nearly down. And just show off a little for that kill. Which apparently drew the attention of a wandering sled dog king. Again, simple tactics, but rather effective. The only thing that got us through there, again, was the fact that we're level 99 in a level 58 field. If that battle was even 5 levels higher in strength, we probably are in critical shape. Still found our way under half when it was just the Maidens. Wandering Apollon fortunately caught it before we tripped that portal. A lot of times you'll run into the Wandering Monster just as a portal opens, and that just turns the encounter that much spicier and that much dicier. A little bit of risky business. Hey, a Protect Ring. Don't know why I was that excited for a Protect Ring, probably because it didn't try and put me to sleep. Make it 2, because why wouldn't you want a matching set? They are nice. Level 41. Give you a nice wood spell. Grab some out Vorv. Physical defense already maxed out, but I could certainly appreciate the sentiment. Gonna get rid of one sled dog on damage and damage alone. Then we'll just see what all we can sleep here. We got an Apollon first try. We got a Sled Dog King first try. Now let's go ahead and finish these guys off. And since Aptu wore off, we're literally walking our way back to the Sled Dog King for the finish. Sleep can be such a useful thing. In this game, I've heard in real life too. Who am I kidding? I got to sleep the entire way to 6:30 this morning. I'm happy with that. Normally, I'm working a half hour by then. Okay, which Grunty do we want to go with? Let's go with Aqua Grunty. Has this sort of ghostly appearance. Also one of the grunties that takes you right to the dungeon. If you hit triangle, the grunties usually have a special ability. Some hunt the dungeon, some hunt active portals. Noble Grunty, I believe, hunts out the closest grunty food on the field. Time to get buff. There we are. Things were just slightly off camera. And now with one Sled Dog King down and the other and the Mognapalon being asleep, this battle went from manageable to flat out easy. And that is why I love the Rugrats Knight's Sword. Because the sleep ability, and I say ability because it technically doesn't count as a spell in this game, just can't be overstated in its usefulness. Except, of course, for when it misses. But then so did the Napalon's entire attack. In fact, I believe it missed there too. So it took 4 strikes to hit us, and by then we just sort of got out of the status haze and just went for pure damage. Tricky move, it floated just out of melee range and then went to heal. Nice 1,000-point crit for us. Actually finished off both with a critical hit. Always good to see. As is a regular treasure with a summon fire. Yeah, as you can see, McGann Rom isn't going to be our breadwinner here. Okay, wasting time there. Missed my second sleep attempt, so we'll just finish off the active Mognapalon and get a bit of a head start before the first wakes up. By head start, I apparently mean finish it off. Sled Dog King pushes us the hell off that stage. My goodness. It really wanted to run our direction, and we apparently had no qualms with heading back that way. Get a summon fire out of that chest. Make our way further right. And we have a Grangon. Good old Earth Element Dragon that may not get an attack in today. It's probably going to get a chance coming out of sleep, but it is going to be severely damaged by the time it does. Nope. Turns out I underestimated my own strength. Sleeping poor Grangon out of the gate was just criminal. Can't wait to do it again. Pick up another rock dragon in the room after we literally defeated a rock dragon. But that's not quite all Floor 1 has in store for us. I'm going to show you one of my favorite features about this room. Just sort of take a peek on that little cutout, and we have in fact slept our enemy, not taken a single hit. And despite missing 3 times on a sleeping enemy right in front of us, managed to do the job incident-free and pick up a fireball storm for our troubles. When you get the portal off your entrance, it's a very useful sort of peekaboo tactic. Grangon once again comes at us a little sleepy, and we help lull it into a nice safe state to take damage. I apparently forgot to redo buffs. No problem, can easily take care of that now. And let's see what we're getting into down on this southern portion. Looks like a dead end down here. Ooh, a Watcher. We had the old sleep versus charm battle going there. Watchers and Stairs are just kind of these terrible floating Tower of Eyeball creatures that can charm you and then rain fire from above. Really creepy when you get to look at them up close. Such a cool monster design. And hey, that was a floor 2 Watcher. So they're going to be around a little while for us. More rock dragons, more summon fire. And yes, you did hear a bearcat egg in that previous room. Pick up a Jasper Halberg. And a Flame Blast. Even more goodies. Grangon, and we failed the sleep, so we're going to take a little damage from this one. Second try goes through clean, though. And, well, it's pretty academic from here, isn't it? 3 hits for 1,000. Technically 1,002. And just like that, the second floor is done. This time I remembered my buffs. Poor Grangons. Massive winged sort of dinosaur dragon creatures. but Moominlay has pretty well gimped them for us. And I would feel bad about that. But if you've played enough Fragment, you already know, take the advantages you can get. Some tribal robes coming out there. And the Spark Maidens have made their illustrious return to the stage. Not fooling around with these at all. Got 2 out of the way real quick. And then I tried to get fancy with some sleep, and it failed me and succeeded for the maiden. So right after I said we're not fooling around at all, I fool around a bit, and it doesn't pay off. Back to basics it is. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Still got a couple more battles to go here, but this does look like the final floor. The Watcher beat us to the punch, and now we are but charmed. You can see the danger of this. We can't fight anything else except for our allies if we were partied up. And it's just going to rain fire on us while we're charmed. So we got it to sleep, and we finished the job. Actually, a monster that's more dangerous if you're partied up. If it charms you, you become the biggest threat to your allies. And if they get charmed, you just have to hope they aren't carrying a death touch weapon. Pick up a Flame Blast and a Fireball Storm, and we have but 1 more portal to go in this dungeon. There's our all clear, and it is a very unlucky Grangon getting the frustration, probably still pent up from all the Pandora's boxes from the crab server. Very neatly handled, and on to the final loot collection we go. A Blaze Halberg, some yellow candy, and a light cross. So we picked up halbergs of the Jasper and Blaze variety. And tribal robes. And there again is our rock dragon, after defeating several rock dragons. So that takes care of the shrimp server. Now we're actually going to go ahead and dip out and get a quick save right there. Log back in. Just for the sake of argument, we'll take a look at Penguini one more time. And no, he must have them on two different setups because Penguini's port's still not checking out. I'll have to mention that after the stream. That does, however, give us 3 more servers to go here. And we're coming up to the greatest of all time, the Shining Darkness server, certainly the gem of its era. I always sort of look right away, right around the spawn points, to see if there's a seasonal event. Since the seasonal clock is busted but good, you never know when anything's going to show up. Almost sold my Knight's Banes. That would have been tragic. That time through made it through on far less healing elixirs. And we are good to go again. Indiscreet Starving Great Seal. We've already had 2 fire floors, and I feel like the server could do better for us there. There we go. Thanos' Fatty Enervation. Level 85 water field. This definitely puts us in Pandora's box territory again, so warning there. Once again, a pretty decent smattering of portals. Let's see what we got coming out of the gate here. Our old buddy, the Rainbow Tail, and a first strike melee hit against Rainbow Tails, practically unheard of. Physical evasion on this entire line, just through the roof. Fortunately, a weakness to earth and a susceptibility to sleep makes them very manageable for us. And it's a Drygon again. Failed to sleep on it. And that's going to be a one and done attempt. Don't want to get it caught up being too fancy out here in the field. Especially not, as you could see, this Drygon can hit for quite a bit. Reason I tried to sleep out of the gate was because I knew this is one of the enemies at this level range that actually put my hit points in peril on damage and damage alone. Three old reps get us back in fighting shape. And some Aptorma. Hopefully that gives us some better luck with the spells. And the next rainbow tail we face is certainly not in for an easy time of things. Be coming out of that sleep there. Pick up some summon water. More Aptorma. The game really wants our spells to be accurate. Of course, we've only really got one damage spell, and it's a ROM spell, so accuracy is kind of its name. I think we're getting pinched by a couple of Dragon. This should be interesting. Definitely going to have to keep an eye on the hit points. Yeah, anytime we go under half, I'm just hitting the elixir here. Fortunately, we did get a bit of an extended play on Rig Same thanks to that symbol. Now we could just sort of take this battle at a more relaxed rate, get our money's worth out of the elixir. And yeah, that takes down 2 Drygons for the price of none, really. Get our buffs back in order. And pick up some white cherries. If you've ever watched .hack Sign and you're familiar with the episode featuring white cherries, well, that episode probably did scar a bit of your psyche for life. If you're not familiar with it, super cool, everything works out fine, no reason to be suspicious of what I'm saying. These, by the way, are fantastic experience. I don't get experience as I've hit the level cap, but if you are looking to level, this is very much the place to be. As you could see, yet another situation where a Wandering Monster was in attack range just as the portal opened for more combat. Hopefully that was just a chest. I guess we'll be finding out shortly if not. Getting a fair amount of Thunder Dragons this time out. And burning a fair bit of elixirs in the process. But winning sloppy is better than losing clean. Yep, it was just a treasure chest. And some ice leg mail. Pick up some Aptorv. And some Apvax. Managed to hold off on an elixir there at the end. Couple reps get us patched up enough to get to the next portal, where we encounter yet another Dragon. Not even going to try for Moomin Lay here. Just diving straight in, as we just haven't had that kind of luck this morning. I have put them to sleep in the past, but their bodies score, much like the blue worm, fairly high, so it's not a guaranteed shot. Hey, we get a dark starfish. One of the neatest looking enemies. Also one that could be put to sleep with relative ease, and is rather susceptible to fire. All in all, we're kind of its worst nightmare. And now its last one. Well, can't fault a guy for hoping, huh? Now finally got it under our starting hit point total. Probably the most I've used all rep this year is on this stream. Top off app do so we don't find ourselves speed deprived at the worst possible time. Or at the best possible time, as this is just a risky treasure. With some lava greaves, we've picked up fire and ice mail here. Yet another rainbow tail, and it's been a fairly perilous field as far as damage goes, but nothing that's really giving us wild status effects. Overall, you kind of got to feel good about this particular monster mix. Here a dark starfish. Sleep a dark starfish. And now it's time to fire slash a dark starfish. 1480 on those elemental hit cross slash attacks. Really can't be mad with that at all. Didn't even get the last one fully, but twin 662's more than enough to finish things. Here are some white cherries, and come upon one of my favorite dungeon openings. The tower destroyed by frozen in time mammoth. Really does make you wonder who sees a scene like that and dives inside. But I guess I am one of those folks, so. Very purple and green here. Nice critical hit there. We'll take him whenever we can get him against an enemy with almost 7,000 hit points. And there's the kill. Bit of a risk there, as low as we were. But it was one worth taking, I think. I feel the odds were that it wasn't going to hit us with yet another bite attack. And that was the one that strangely was doing the serious damage. Actually, it's weird. We're pretty on even keel with the Dragon on damage output here. Some permafrost there. Let's see if this is a Dragon here. If so, we'll try and trap it. Yeah. So we're just going to let it... shoot. It wandered around the side. Normally, you could trap them right in here. You could see how its head just sort of poked in there. And you could actually just cast him to death. We're not going to go that route, because that's boring for everyone. But if you're a Wave Master, and you're looking for a way to potentially defeat that Dragon without that pesky bite attack, you can actually cast through that wall, even though it's typically only a line of sight casting. You usually have to be able to see your target. But these rooms are a bit of an outlier, and something you could take advantage of. Plus, there is a little clipping thing where the head will come through the wall a little bit on a Dragon, which is just hilarious in its own right, at least to me. Got a dark starfish here. Makes life nice and easy for us. Some elemental hits would make things even easier. And a nice 740 crit to end it. 3 more portals in the first. Get a dark asteroid. These can paralyze, so I'm not sad in the least bit about resorting to sleep. Also, a fairly beefy enemy with a nice attack of its own. Pulling out all the stops here today. Nice crit there. And one more portal between us and the second floor. Get a nice close-up of the old flame sword there. And there goes the dark starfish. We missed our sleep, the dark starfish missed its paralyze, and then we won status combat. Picked up a nice critical there. And for the sake of my SP, and just for some variety, we're just going normal attacks here. Probably take it out a little quicker that way, truth be told. Just not as impressive, because fire sword. Yet another Dragon. Two big critical hits there. And if it keeps casting, we're really not in much danger at all. I just had to open my mouth, and then it opened its. Took some hefty damage there. And now we're back on the offensive. There's some ice leg mail. Sleep doesn't just help deal with the enemy, It also makes it easier to see in some of these darker rooms. This one's not too bad, but some of these rooms really kind of on the dim side. Set that dungeon ambiance nicely. Tearing through floor 2 nice and quick. Finally over on that one. Thought I had it down, and then it started rearing up for an attack, and that's when I remembered at these high levels, you just can't go by the bar. It will look completely empty, and the monster will still have a sizable amount of hit points left. At least one strike, maybe two. Floor 3 now. Really interesting layout here. Gonna try clearing out the left side first. Neptune Medusas. More charm enemies. Put one to sleep, took care of the other, and now we'll have a decent head start on the first. Yep, looks like my goal of left side first was in error, as the stairs down are on the left. So we'll go back to the right here. Just couldn't risk it there. Rough miss there. Okay, yeah. There we are. Wasn't a miss. I was hitting the wrong damn button. Just one a little brain dead there for about a half sec. Kept hitting outdo instead of Moominlay. We are well over the 2-hour mark. And as we know, I typically don't do longer streams because, well, for starters, my gameplay is not that interesting. Second, a lot of life to live. And third, I'm pretty sure there's a limit in this state as to how many times you could say the words risky business on any sort of recording. But I do believe with these somewhat made up statistics in mind and passing possibly my 20th Bearcat egg of the day, I'm just going to go for quickest clears for the rest of this. So I do apologize. We did full clear where we could, but we're getting kind of up there on time. And actually amazed the family hasn't started stirring and coming downstairs yet. Did figure this was going to be in the longer vein given the nature of the run. Should have probably just done quickest clears the whole time, honestly. Picked up an Oberon and a Jindachi. More Neptune Medusas. Want no part of trying to fight two of these while they're trying to charm us. And there we get charmed. Cash in a second Moominlay to make this academic. At least it would if we started hitting more consistently. So here we go, rocking to floor number 4. Let's see our stairs down right away. Oh, get a Lich Lord. That is magic tolerant, but as I said, since Moominlay doesn't technically do magic damage, it's not really counted as magic. And so we put the Lich Lord to sleep and got through that room nice and easy. Ugh. Now we get some lag and 3 Neptune Medusas. This is not going to be pretty. Just have to contain what we can. Okay, that's 2 asleep. And that's 1 down. No damage proc saving us there. Tried to get a little sneaky there, and it worked. We're now down to just 1 Neptune Medusa coming out of the charm here. Certainly not shortchanged on the action at all on that encounter. And this may be the end of it for us, as we've got a Neptune Medusa and a Lich Lord. Managed to just brute force our way through the Neptune Medusa and sleep the Lich Lord on the second try. It did fail out of the gate. But yeah, the worry there is actually the magic damage from the Lich Lord more than the confusion, combined with the charm of the Neptune Medusa. Perfect. Slept the Lich Lord right out of the gate. And we have just eked through floor 4. Seeing at least 6 floors this time. Got to get our way to the left there. And now we have some Pumpkin Kings as well that could skill drain, can death touch, have high physical evasion, if not outright total physical evasion. Yeah, total physical tolerance, but they can be put to sleep and they can be cast upon. Okay, I was going to try breaking the physical tolerance here, but I honestly forget which shortcut that is. R2 and circle. I'm failing miserably at it. I'll try one more, and then I'll probably have to just put it to sleep and cast forever. That is very much looking like the end result here. Pumpkin heads are just no fun to deal with. Getting it close to 200 per shot here. And here's a Lich Lord. Just to make us question life decisions yet again. Failed on 2 sleeps, and I think that's about all we could really afford on that. So we'll just start hacking at it, realizing the worst it could really do is magic at us. Also failed asleep first try. So we'll just charge right at the thing. Failed its confusion, which really wouldn't matter here, as we're just running up and attacking it anyway. One more battle this floor. Had a feeling it would be a pumpkin head. These we very much do want to sleep before trying to do anything. Failing twice does not help us. Finally got it. You could see its glowing yellow hand just sticking out there. And now we'll just start chipping away. Wear it away with a tiny stream of pebbles. Up, right on cue. My boy is up. It's getting to later morning, so I'll probably take a short break, leave you with the lovely lobby screen here, get breakfast rolling, and then be back for our final 2 fields. Going to keep that pumpkin head well and truly locked by the door there. Also really going to hope this is just a 6th floor dungeon. Granted, I did take the reroll here. I didn't think that level 27 would be the best television possible out of Shining Darkness. And we've certainly got some quality entertainment today. Five floors in the book. And much to my chagrin, we have yet another floor beyond this. Take my peekaboo trick and see nothing good coming of it. That was just wicked. Oh, and it hit the dying strike. We need to get out of this confusion quick. And we did. Whew. That is the danger of those two in tandem. Down under Tooth Owl. Time to recast the sleep. Give ourselves a little bit of room too. Should be a race to the finish here. Don't think we have quite enough to finish it before sleep wears off, but I don't think it'll have that many hit points left to necessitate another attempt at it. No, not really. We can get this down in maybe 2 more casts. Close. Yay. Cool. Got confused, but so far damage has actually been our friend. Managed to take the liches down without too big an incident. 4-way intersection rooms can get real dicey when your enemies are literally flying around the stage. And we finally got Moomin Lay on the pumpkin head. Now we can get rolling here. Yet another sleep. This one is going to get us under 2,000 and possibly close to 1. Okay, now we're in some serious trouble. Buffs have worn off. Gotta make these count. Did get the pumpkin head done. Not the easiest battle. Fortunately, only one more portal here for us in the 6th. Unfortunately, we could pretty well entail this is going to be some type of Lich, Neptune, Medusa, or Pumpkinhead. And 3 pumpkin heads it is. Do not like our chances here at all. Really do not like our chances here. Can't even get out of the corner. There we are. Now we'll trap them in, and we're just going to damage cast. This is going to take forever and a day. But they can't get any closer to us. And yeah, this is gameplay at its worst. It is boring, it is static camera, but it is effective, and it is really our only chance. As you could see, they aren't doing near enough to us on a magic perspective. Raw damage, they don't stand a chance, and while we're just pelting them with pebbles, it's doing a great deal more to them than their attacks are doing to us. One is down and the other 2 are below half, because we got them grouped together right at the doorway. Even casting McGann ROM with Rig Game, which replaces most of itself by the time the casting is done, we are well under 100 SP by the time we even approach taking the second one out. Also, we're under half health. So the chipping away isn't doing nothing. Had just enough using our entire SP bar to get through that. Okay, that is floor 6 down. Was floor 7 made in heaven?
3 pumpkin heads yet again. Well, we know how this goes. One tried breaking out from the group there. May very well actually do it, too. There is a bit of a gap showing between those 3. Last time we got them wedged into a doorway. This time there's some open space for them to float about. And there is really no telling how this is going to be going. We're just going to hold on for dear life and hope this is good enough for the finish. One thing is for certain, we will have a gap between the 2 wingmen once the centerpiece is finished. And the central one is the most forward, and that is the one we are indeed targeting. So we're getting a fair bit of splash damage on the rest, but when center one's time is gone, we have to recalibrate. Fortunately, a little adjustment pulls them back into sync. And allows us to target the one that is taking the inner track, if you will. So we're stuck in a corner, but they're stuck on the other side of that corner. Could just see it's rocks versus skulls. This whole battle. One-on-one, we'll finally get a bit of our hit point edge back. Yeah, we'll take a moment to let things recoup a bit. Get our buffs back up. Just a second. My apologies. That was dicey. Mercifully, we get a dark starfish here. Seeing some large rooms, and that's never a good sign. At this point, we've become semi-professional pumpkinhead exterminators. Did get that nice dark starfish break there, and now we're just back into pumpkinheads. Looks like our far left side here is going to be dead ends. Not sure about what's beneath us, but I don't have high hopes of this ending at 7. Usually if you go past 6, it's anyone's guess. I guess it's anyone's guess, period. I don't know what I'm driving at there. Personally, if it goes past 6, I'm just thinking straight to 10, and anything else would be a pleasant surprise. I do love me a 10-floor dungeon. But we've already had a lot of Fragment today, and I've actually got more coming this evening. Thursdays and Sundays are my usual voice chat games on the NetSlum server, the NetSlum Discord. We stream on there. So gearing up for what should be a fun time all around this evening. Risky treasure, because, only so many times I could say the other phrase. And a fire dragon out of that. And a dark starfish to break up the monotony of damage casting at pumpkinheads. And that will do it for floor 7.
Oh, sorry.
One moment. Sorry, trying to get breakfast together as I go. Breakfast, hell, it's brunch. Coming up on 11 o'clock here. Floor 8 looks mostly skippable. Never bad news at this point. The only shame of it is we're depriving the server some experience. But such is the way of the world. Ooh, a Pazuzu. Pazuzu is the most metal of the darkness creatures, as it's a giant skeleton with demon skulls for hands. Very welcome sight indeed. This dungeon, for its extreme length, is certainly pulling out all the stops on the enemy front. Moonstruck and gobsmacked, if you will. And just like that, we're down to floor 9. If only they could all go so smooth. The hallway to enter floor 9 is probably the same amount of real estate as floor 8 was for us in its entirety. And we have a potential statue room down there at the very bottom. Otherwise, we have a very arduous climb up to the right. So we will check out the bottom floor because I didn't see any indication of stairs down here. First room yields us a pair of treasures, one out of the portal and one sitting there the whole time. Second room, once again a treasure. Maybe the game is being nice. Maybe the game has realized that the last 8 floors were kind of a struggle. Maybe this is going to be a bit of a battle. 2 Neptune Medusas in a Castlevania room. It could have been worse. Didn't get the all clear because of course we didn't. We haven't cleared everything. But I had figured this stream would probably go somewhere in the 3 to 3.5 hour mark. And that time's still hittable, but we'll just have to speed things up a touch. Pick up an Artisan Soul. And this is indeed the end. Marrow's looking on as we pick up Alien Leg Mail, Artisan Soul, and Healing Elixir. You don't see the Alien Leg Mail that much. It has Mirai Cruz. Interesting. Interesting level 94 item there. So that will do it for that marathoner out of Shining Darkness. Going to back out, hopefully without disturbing any of the field monsters, and definitely restock. And then it's on to the final 2 that we will try and clear right quick and in a hurry. Do want to thank Emus, server host of Shining Darkness. I tentatively want to say we made another nice gain there, but we'll find out once we actually settle up on some of these items. Yeah, we're nearing 4.7 million. And now it's on to V's 2 servers, Mackerel and V's Place. Hit Mackerel first. One of the world-famous Fragment seafood servers. We now have mackerel, crab, and shrimp. No event NPC. Largest battered sturgeon. Let's go for it. Level 12 water. Whew. More snow. See a giant whale permafrozen as we come in. Going to get our buffs, and we see a fairly clear shot to the dungeon there. We're not going to avoid that portal just off to our left. but we're also not going for the full field clear by any stretch of the imagination. Couple crab turtles. Nothing really to worry about there. Guardians, of course, we saw the metal erasers earlier on. Same model there. You'll notice those just say Guardian because there is another monster called the Guardian that, again, if you've seen Sign, you're well and truly more familiar with. And if you haven't, once again, super cool, not totally lethal monster or anything. First floor coming up here. Got an interesting layout already. So we have a couple diverging paths. Really not sure which way to go here. I think this right side is the stairs down, and it proves true. Let's pick up the Bearcat egg. One thing that has been true today, we have seen a lot of the Bearcat eggs. Both on fire and water fields. And there's a Cyclo shark. Big old shark body with all the eyes on it. There's another for good measure. And one more Bearcat egg for the pile. Floor 2 coming up. Once again, a very sprawling floor. Going to assume straight down is the way. Straight down is not the way. But it is a way to find 3 Guardians. Get them out of here. And it's lower right, so we weren't far off. Thousand trees. Sure felt like one. And that's 2 floors in the books. Floor 3 has a real quick sort of design to it. Again, looks to be a sprawling floor, but the exit is just about beneath us and reachable in less than 4 rooms. Yet another 1,000 trees sitting right in the middle of this room. Take it out quick, grab an ice storm, and make our way onward. Finish off the Guardian at the corner here. And now we have a bit of a choice to make. Let's hope the dungeon tips its hand, and I think it did. I do believe bottom left is going to be the stairs down, just on the size of the corridor there. And I was proven wrong. That is a dead end. Just shows you can't judge everything off of the tropes. So bottom right's got to be it, because mid right is a dead end. Take out some hungry grass. Guardian and Hungry Grass, both one-shot territory for Givac Crack. Where's a Bivac Crack? Nope, Givac. I knows me fire. And that's the fourth floor taken care of. Floor 5. Big ol' hallway. And a very sort of linear progression. Only one route to go here. So we will get a fair bit of dungeon in here. Treasure out of the first room. 3 crab turtles to strike down in the second, picking up some ice flow. And amazingly, no treasures spawning there. Do see what looks like a statue room in the lower right here. So we'll deal with another pair of crab turtles here and start planning what looks like our exit. Sometimes these dungeons will surprise and amaze you. With the way that 5th floor was setting up, I would not have guessed it to be a potential final floor. I guess I shouldn't say that outright because there's no confirmation yet that it is. But it kinda looks like it is. Pick up the death and a restorative. And there's our statue. Snow Panther is the prize, along with a speed charm and a grunty doll. And that's mackerel in the books. We have one more server to go. Just now nearing the 3-hour mark, so we're pretty well right on the money. How we got there, not the planned route at least, but that in itself is a dot hack thing. You know, you just sort of go with what the game gives you. Make our way up to V's place. Last chance to see a seasonal event on stream here. And yes, it's a level 53 field, much like Crab, Shrimp, and Shining Darkness. It has the ability to generate fields anywhere from level 2 to level 98. Technically, it was the second one to do it after Crab. So the absolute legendary V's Place server. Place where this character in particular has spent a ton of time. Don't need those mage's souls. May be wondering why I'm taking the time to sell all these. Inventory space is very finite, and if you find yourself in a larger dungeon, you could quickly find yourself accidentally selling off items that you may well and truly need. There was an infamous time I was doing an upload, and in my exhaustion just started spamming the circle button and accidentally dumped all of my healing potions with about a floor and a half to go with my Blademaster. Did just barely eke through there, but I did it all for like, I think the Fool or something. Just wasn't worth it. We could finish with a level 12 fire field, but much like Shining Darkness, I feel we could do better. It's perhaps not wanting us to do better. Level 50 Monster 2 Aqua Field. It's a level 98 wood field. Would we finish any other way? Open area wood field. It's the grassland, of course, as designated by the Aqua Field keyword. Not a guarantee that's going to happen, by the way. Online, because parameters can be set, reset, and adjusted by the server host. But we knew what we were getting into here. No field battles for us as we spawned right next to the dungeon. And now let's just clear this level 98 dungeon and call it a stream. Still going for the quick clear. This is one we've talked about a bunch, both myself and groups of people who've played the game that I've been fortunate enough to talk to over time, just trying to clear a field in each server. A couple times we've done it or mostly it. Certainly easier when the server count is a bit to the lower side. Last week we had the servers numbering up over a dozen, and I could only imagine how long I would be here for that. But I am happy to have got this done. Still not so good with the English today. Not good with any language today if I'm failing English. Down under 2,000. Gonna face us some Psyche Visions, we're gonna face us some Astra Kings, and we're gonna face us some Armor Generals. That's the mix on 98 wood. Something very familiar to the channel here. See our stairs down right beneath us. There's an Astra King. It's the enemy we actually get to hit with our sword. It's also an enemy that has us on a fairly consistent hit point clock. We get down under 1100, we're in trouble. There goes the king, and we pick up some green call and a Forest of Fear. It was actually kind of anything but for us. Very few trees, very little fear. These guys, however, Armor Generals, all the fear is theirs. Just trying to get them to loop around a little closer to each other. There we go. Again, you want splash damage to be your friend with Armor Generals. More so than the splash damage, you just don't want one to break well free of the other. Because then there's the chance that it gets in and just rips you to ribbons. full 99 heavy armors here, and if they get off their combo attack, it deals more than half my health. So even just two of these guys in melee would be a pretty lethal encounter for me. I would have very little chance of getting out alive if I were trying to fight them off and heal and everything. So spam casting Megan Rom is really the only viable strategy against them. Fortunately, they're non-elemental, so there's nothing they're really tolerant of. They're not even physically tolerant. It's just generally a good idea not to get close to them. That's Armor General 2 down, along with most of our SP because Regime wore off. Do believe both generals were nice enough to give us treasure. One of the general variety being the Hanged Man, and one of the risky variety being Sonic Gloves, for when you gotta go fast. Speaking of going fast, here are 3 armor generals. And if you thought 2 was a pain, you can pretty much assume at some point one of these guys is going to make a shifty move and get out of this. And if not, then lucky day for us. See, now they're all very, very close. So close, in fact, they can actually hit us, and that is a problem. No damage proc saves our bacon. And now it's time to run yet again. Second no damage proc there. Can it get better than that? Also got a nice tight grouping, and we got the furthest back one dead as it was the original closest to us. Important to keep this grouping close as Abdu is worn off. And we've made it down to a one-on-one battle. Pick up the Hanged Man. Just utterly destroy the Dehydrated Man and head to floor 2. Seeing a couple different paths this could go. Once again, hoping that the dungeon tips its hand in that first room. Though honestly, lower left does look like a pair of dead ends. So unless we see a reason to believe that mid left is going to connect to anywhere, the right hand path is probably the preferred option. Melee strikes are not the most terrifying thing to us. Vulcan is. But even so, those melee strikes had us down quite a bit. There you go. 2 dead ends there. With the upper left also being a dead end, the right-hand path is the one that's going to take us either to the statue or the stairs down, and I would have to believe stairs down. Armor Generals. The reasons I don't blindly charge portals. Ever. That is our 3rd no damage proc of the dungeon. We are truly in a blessed state on this dungeon. Just good luck flying all about. 3 no damage procs, all against armor generals. Gotta feel good about that. And the final 17 hit points done on that armor general. Interesting. That's a dead end. I must have missed something somewhere. We know mid-left and middle are dead ends. Is there a further connection left here on the upper path? There is. There's the corridor. I'm a yutz. I thought I had that so cleverly thought out, and turns out I just missed the actual exit. But hey, we got a fun armor general battle, didn't we? Floor 3 here. Little mystery as to the stairs down this time. Probably the right amount for me. As little mystery as possible at this point. Psyche Vision. Haven't seen one of these in quite a little bit. And that is floor 3 down. Fourth floor is just teasing us for a fifth, as we could see the stairs down a little off to our right. And in fact, only one portal stands between us and there. So let's not waste any more time. We're all buffed up, ready to go. Let's hit this battle and get going. It is a Psyche Vision. Moment Lay works first try, and now the spam cast. Nice to see consistent damage at any rate, but we're Really, really hoping for those elemental hits. That was as good as it gets, just full-on 96s. Gonna have this thing down to half health when it comes back. Bit under half. Really strong finish to this little sequence. But sleep will wear off. And now we are casting at it with a considerable lead. And yeah, pretty much academic from there. Picking up a healing elixir and the Hanged Man. Bonus treasure spawning. And that's a resurrect. Picking up the Hanged Man. And a Forest of Fear on the way to the stairs down to 5. Fifth floor, we have a potential statue room right beneath us. Let's get to it, see if we are at our destination. Can we in fact survive and clear a dungeon out of every online server that will let us in today? Hear that egg bouncing in the background, and honestly the armor generals are a bit too close for comfort for me, but we will hold the position and cast as much as we can here. I think we could get 2 more before they're close enough to start attacking us. So we will quickly retreat a couple steps, hold them in place, and get back on our merry way. Armor General 1 is down, giving us a nice gap between ourselves and number 2, both in hit points and distance. This is really the way you want this battle to go. No real mortal danger after that tactical withdrawal. Hopefully that's back online. Just having some USB issues today. Cannot get into this Astra King for the life of me. Finally in. There's lethal damage just before the Vulcan. Pick up a Forest of Fear. Again, the forest was not the fear, it was the dungeon. Statue chest. Eternity. A fitting weapon to finish this. 1, because it's Blademaster weapon. 2, because this was long. Just past the 3-hour, 17-minute mark. Again, right where I'd figured it would be about time-wise. And we did it. 1 server. 1 dungeon. Every server online. Except for Penguini, which had the port forwarding issues. Once again, I want to thank Alka for hosting the lobby server. I want to thank the area server hosts for today. Venus, Muse, Nekanos K, Overmaster, and Crimson. I want to thank you guys for being sports and watching this absolute marathon. And my family for being very patient. We got a good part of this in before they even came downstairs, and they've been kind enough to just kind of hang out in the background there while I was doing this. Hope you've enjoyed both the fragment today and this weekend upstream. Don't know how much more streaming I'm going to be doing in the near future because it's about the crazy time of year, but I did want to get this weekend in. This has been a grumpy old guy gaming, saying take care, and we'll see you around. I'm off to get some coffee.